expertise and community hospital comfort. Learn more at wvumedicine.org/Uniontown.
Go to Ford of Uniontown and trade me in.
Uh-oh. Tom, did I hear them say that they had a check engine light on?
Jess, I heard someone say yesterday they had a strange noise.
It happens all the time.
And when repair bills start piling up, maybe it's time to stop fixing and start saving.
Right now, at Ford of Uniontown, it's employee pricing for everyone. That means you pay what we pay on America's favorite Ford vehicles, including the F-150, Bronco, and Maverick.
So instead of spending thousands fixing that old ride, drive home something newer, safer, and more dependable with incredible savings and financing options that fit your budget.
Because let's be honest, cars braking?
It happens all the time.
Don't forget that you can schedule service appointments online and free pickup and delivery. Your truck knows, shouldn't you? That's Ford of Uniontown on the hill across from Applebee's. 724-425-5980 or fordofuniontown.com.
Price excludes tax, title, and transfer fees. Must finance with Ford credit. Not all buyers will qualify.
Looking to start a career in nursing? The Indiana County Technology Center is now recruiting for its part-time 16-month practical nursing program at the Connellsville Career and Technology Center. Named the 2025 Best in Fayette winner for Best Post-Secondary School in Fayette County, ICTC Connellsville offers a flexible program designed for real life, combining in-person classes, hybrid learning, and clinical experiences at sites close to home. But don't wait, spots are limited and filling fast. Classes meet just 2 evenings a week from 5 to 9 p.m., plus daytime clinicals every Friday and every other Saturday. Graduates can also earn college credits and gain advanced standing to continue up the nursing career ladder. With a 97% pass rate on licensure exams, now is the time to secure your place for the August start date. Federal financial aid and PA CareerLink funding are available for those who qualify. To learn more or apply today, visit indianacountytechnologycenter.edu/practical nursing.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful. We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
Mutt's on Market Street, now in the new location, 15 Bridge Boulevard in Brownsville at the old Dukeman's Beer Distributor. Same great service for dogs and cats at the same great prices. Mutt's on Market Street, now in the old Dukeman's in Brownsville. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook.
The views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the positions of WMBS Radio.
Thank you. It's the Democratic Hour on WMBS 590 AM 101.1 FM. Our telephone number, and we're taking calls at 724-438-4593. And I look over, TJ is gone, and it's the one and only Bill Madden. How are you today?
I'm glad to be with you. It's like the band is back
The band is back in town, right? I got Rich to the right, and Doc is probably celebrating early for the 250th anniversary and the 4th of July coming up. Bill, I know we played a little music. I don't know if you have it. Fine. If not, we'll start the show.
Well, I have something because I don't know if you heard the story.
We're going to hear it.
TJ and Justin were caught down at the reflecting pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a box knife and I believe a can of green paint. Anyway, so to that end.
Oh, dirty water. I teased everybody Wednesday. I was on the show. Russ wasn't here, and I unfortunately or fortunately come by, and I didn't mind it being on for 2 hours. But I told him I was definitely going down. I had evidence, and you're not going to believe this. I know folks are tuned in. This is factual. I told him I was going down. Believe me, I've used some of my military skills to sneak by the water, and I had some of the green algae slime. The evidence I was there, and WMBS is doing some renovation, and I had it laying out by the dumpster, and guess what happened?
The dumpster's gone.
Dumpster's gone. My evidence is gone, and I guess nobody will know the truth now, right? Besides me.
Well, you're wearing shorts, so I guess your pants got wet. So we.
Oh, no. Well, believe me. But again, we talked about. There's so many things, Rich, that we could talk about. I know we have a budget in Harrisburg. Yep. The budget proposal is around $53 to $54 billion with a B.
I thought that would have been approved by now.
Well, This is my take. Deadline's the 30th, and I don't think that's going to happen. Right now in the House in Harrisburg, we have 102 Democrats of 100 Republicans. Our local legislators voted against the budget. In the Senate, there's 27 Republicans and 23 Democrats. With the election coming up, I would say this should happen sometime in July, but that's just my prediction.
I thought it would be by the end of June they would have it done.
Of course, the court's made a decision, so they're going to have to really get on the skilled games. The Supreme Court with the skilled games, and there's estimated 70, 80,000 skilled games are not being taxed, and I can understand why, and I can understand why the casinos they pay. They pay 50% on all the the casino slot machines.
Mhm.
And I think it's, I have it here somewhere. If I could find it, Rich, maybe you could jump in here.
I mean, if they don't approve the state budget soon, when the representatives and the senators come in and take credit for projects,
Well,
grant money.
they will, and they have done it, and they'll continue to do it.
And that money
Yeah.
comes through the budget, so they go against the budget, but they take the money and publicity for, promoting their grants.
And we don't know what they voted on this week. There was something on data centers that was
Yeah.
voted on, and I'm not sure exactly. I know they had a meeting out in one of our townships out here, and I don't know if Joyce is listening to the show. She was going to attend, and Joyce, if you're listening to the show, call us and let us know what happened.
Yeah, there was one House bill, I think it was 2496, dealing with data centers, giving municipalities a 180-day pause on development, construction, whatever. I don't know. I mean, if we're going to build a data center in a municipality, why don't the municipalities already have zoning laws in place?
And again, my take, and I've said it, and I'll continue. If they're built right,
Yep.
and I'll give you a prime example. And again, I'm going to use it. We have over 200 local members, 354 at the Homer City facility. It's a $12 billion project. These individuals live right here in Fayette County. They're not all on that particular job. Like I said, it'll peak out around 5,000 union construction workers on that site. Now, how many permanent jobs, I have no idea. But that data center is building their own power plant, for the facility. Anything in excess will be going back into the grid.
Into the grid. Yep.
And again, I don't know what the bill is, if they could even, and there was something in there that they was trying to guarantee the X amount of jobs. I don't know how that's
I don't know how
humanly
you do that.
possible.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to put up $12 billion like up there, and you're going to tell them that we want 150 or 200 permanent jobs. I don't know how that works, but
Well, there was another bill in the House bill related to data centers. I think it was 2224, and it was not granting relief for data centers on purchase of equipment. They would not have to pay a sales tax. And, hey, if we have to pay a tax on buying computers, whatever, I think the companies should have to pay that,
especially
too.
when you're spending that kind of money, $12 billion.
Yeah, but the thing that griped me, it was passed unanimously by both chambers. Unanimous. Republicans are out there taking, it was us who did that.
Well, here's, I tell both parties, why don't you have some town hall meetings? I mean, you come out, not the company proposing the facility. Sit down with the trade unions. Sit down with all the trade unions. Have a meeting here at Charity. Have one Ryan Warner. Have one Pat Stefano. Listen what those individuals who's going to be working on the facilities, they pay taxes here. They send their kids to school here. They want to live here. Now there's an opportunity. They're going to be built. They're built right, and they meet all the, here's the thing. It always was. The Democrats was only concerned about water, and, we were EPA, right? We're shutting everything down. Now their counter argument is, right, we're going to mess up the air, we're going to mess up the water. It's too noisy.
Too noisy, yeah.
But again, anybody wants to make some comments? And of course, the big deal next week is the 250th And heavens knows what's going on in Washington, D.C., recent Supreme Court decisions. I don't know where this country is going. I truly don't, especially with the courts.
The court rulings
Yeah.
the other day dealing with immigrants.
Yeah.
Or the protective service, temporary.
And we know what he said about the immigrants, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're white, you can come in his country.
Well, yeah, he's encouraging the whites from South Africa to come in here, and he's encouraging people who could pay $100,000 or $1 million to get a green card to expedite to come in here.
And I'm going to say it. He is a racist. That's my opinion, and
Well, I think Kagan's dissent on both of those pieces of rulings.
We
she
know what
really
he
went
said
after
about
him.
people in Haiti or in
Haiti.
Haiti, right?
Yeah. And in Springfield, Ohio, they were eating
Right.
dogs and cats.
Cats. That was during the debate and election.
Yeah, and they came from an S-hole country.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Donald, you should be ashamed of yourself, but you're not. But anything
But,
like this,
yeah, I'm sorry.
no, go right ahead.
The other thing, if you go on the State Department website, they have travel advisors, and they advise U.S. citizens not to go to Haiti, not to go to Syria right now because of everything that's going on, all the problems they have, political unrest, you name it. So I can understand why those people wanted to escape.
Or even he brought up the individuals who left Afghanistan.
Yeah. I mean, would Americans want to go to visit Haiti and Syria right now?
Nope.
Certainly wouldn't be on my list.
No, not on mine either. And of course, the big midterms, and everybody's talking what happened in New York. Well, New York's New York, Pennsylvania's Pennsylvania. Right now, we have 17 congressmen and women in Pennsylvania. There's 10 Republicans and 7 Democrats. And of course, everybody knows, I think our beloved congressman being the Fayette County, he was spotted 2 weeks ago by my sister. So maybe that's the third time in 10 years he's been to Fayette County. And anybody wants to get involved, we have Alan Bradstock. Alan has his, I wish I had his website in front of me, but he'll be hitting Fayette County and the rest of the counties coming under the current congressional district. So we got a lot of things going on, and I know Ellen will be out and about. And so, like I said, anybody's concerned about the state budget, please call your local representative. Let them know what you voted for. What did you right? We know what they voted against.
Yeah,
they'll take credit for anything that's coming back if they had anything to do with it. But again, like I said, Rich, and of course we know Trump was in Pennsylvania. I just can't imagine. I know this actually happened. This happened when he came to Western Pennsylvania, Donald Trump, when they was building a cracker facility in Monaca, PA.
Okay.
There was probably peaked out around 7,000 union workers. Well, when the president had come, they had an option. You could go to work and be there, but you couldn't leave while the president of the United States was there. Or if you weren't going to be there because you didn't want to be there while the president was there, they would not dock you for a lost day. So when he was there, and I know for a fact who was there, he chimed in. He even said, vote your union bosses out. Now, let me tell you, if I was there, I'd have walked out. But they said, they could not leave till the President of the United States was off site. But, so you got all these so-called workers in the Mac facility out in eastern Pennsylvania standing behind him, right?
Yeah.
But again, there was no shame in his game, none whatsoever.
Well, there were a couple other things that struck me about that event at the Mack truck facility. I mean, Mack trucks basically run on diesel.
Yeah, we know where the price of diesel went.
Yeah, and who is scheduling these things?
And here's the thing, the war, and I didn't even bring up the war, would have cost us, unfortunately, in lives, 13 Americans, hundreds of them wounded. And we're talking about the possibility it's $500 billion, right?
Yeah.
Money for war, but not the poor. Medicare, Medicaid, and everything else, CHIP program. We got a caller on the line, Bill?
We do indeed.
All right, let's see who we got.
Hi, you're on with the Democratic Radio Hour. Who are we speaking with?
You're speaking with Mark from Republic.
Hey, Mark from Republic. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. A little bit inebriated, but I'm fine.
Well, it's all right. It's what they say. What was that Jimmy Buffett song?
It's 5 o'clock
somewhere.
5 o'clock somewhere, right, Mark?
Yeah. Just watch your language on here right now.
All right.
All right,
all
5
right,
o'clock
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, hey, I'm watching these commercials now. What, Governor Shapiro?
I haven't seen any.
With the
Enlighten
kids?
us.
With the children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 1.7 million public school children in Pennsylvania getting a free breakfast?
Right.
Okay. Now I just kind of wondered what are they going to cancel first period of class in a public school now and give them breakfast, or I mean, what's the deal?
Well, I think there was always. I mean, wasn't there some budget cuts before? I really personally, I have no children, but I play school tax. I think
I
all
don't
the
either,
kids
but I'm
should
just
be.
kind of wondering. He's going to give these kids breakfast. Before they start any class, whether they're going to cancel first period, if they get a breakfast, he can have Cheerios. I guess.
No,
I don't know.
they're not going to cancel the first period. They have to, I think, show up early.
Oh,
Like,
they have to show.
Yeah, like, for example, if school would start at 8:20, 8:15, they'd have to show up at 8 o'clock.
Okay, but how are they going to get there if they'd ride the bus to school then?
Well, whatever. Let me put it this way. I think that's the least of their problems.
Yeah.
As long as they're getting fed, they'll work out.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
I mean, if you can't get there, it doesn't matter then.
Well, I think they schedule the buses around that.
Okay. I
Mark,
just
you don't
kinda
have a
wondered,
problem.
I mean,
You don't have a problem them feeding the kids, do you?
no, but I'm kind of wondering how's this thing going to work?
Well, we're going to find
I mean-
out. I wish somebody that works in a school now. I know they have lunches and breakfasts now in school.
Right.
Okay. We'll let them call us and tell us about it.
Maybe
you know,
they'll have a
we'll
little
listen.
alcohol there. What do you think, Mark?
No.
Not at my, not at their age, certainly not.
I'm only messing. What else, Mark?
Okay.
We're going to grab as many calls as we can here before the holiday.
Okay. About the Democrats in the EPA. We're always complaining about the Democrats in the EPA. With the
we don't want.
yeah.
They're always shutting down projects, water.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know. Okay, George. I'm sorry, but I have to let you have it.
Go ahead.
February 2005, I lost my job at Maple Creek because the Secretary of DEP under Rendell revoked our permit because we were mining under this ditch out in the middle of this farmer's field his cows defecated in. Okay, 400 best paying jobs in this state and the 2 poorest counties in it. That's what happened in February 2005.
Well, you might maybe the guy that was running that. You remember from Maple Creek? What was his name? He didn't help the cause out either.
He was America's last Bob Murray, America's last coal baron. I worked for him.
Well, he wasn't.
Okay.
I heard too pleasant to work for.
Well, hey George, I'm going to tell you something. He spent $10 to $20 million to open that mine up. Was very iffy because there was a small block of coal. Nobody else spent that kind of money and created them jobs except him. You can complain all you about Bob Murray, but he spent the money and he created 400 jobs.
I'm only listening what the United Mine Workers guys told me about Murray.
Oh, that's what I was. I was a member of the union.
Well, you think
I was
that
a member
mine?
of the union.
You think that mine was shut down because of not producing enough coal, or
That was produced because she revoked our permit, George. We was working. I was at the power station at the ramp, and I put the power on because we were ready to go to the next one. She was.
If there's so
There
much
was a
coal there,
court
Mark,
case
I'm
going
not.
on.
I don't know the whole details. You guys.
No,
work there.
okay.
But
Well,
here's
let me
my
say this,
question:
George.
if there's coal still there and it's available, why aren't they mining it?
Hey, George, you can't just once you get a permit and you start mining that coal, you got to go through because you only got so much time. You have to make so much money to pay for everything that's gone through. Once you revoke that permit, you just can't keep going. You've got losses now.
What I'll do in the future, I'll have somebody on the United Mine Workers come on the show and explain that whole situation. Mark, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good weekend, and we're gonna grab as many calls.
You too,
as we can.
George.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks.
Hi, you're on the Democratic Radio Hour. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Joyce.
Hey, Joyce. I'm glad you listened.
Hey.
Did you go to the meeting?
I was driving. I heard you say to call in.
Thank you, Joyce.
Yes, I did go to the meeting.
Give us a little update.
We did have a good turnout. There might only been a dozen of people there. They handed out their ordinances. and they told us to write questions down that we had, and they're going to have another meeting on July 1st and July 9th at the ACC Community Center at 6 p.m., and they're going to go over the ordinances and questions that we have.
Did we have our local representative have anybody there?
Nope.
So that's in Charity's jurisdiction, so she had nobody from her office there?
No, she had attended a couple. She wasn't at the last meeting either. She was there probably a month ago.
So what kind of information did they give you, Joyce? Or were they changing the ordinance?
They really didn't. They really didn't give us a whole lot of information. They had a man there that talked about a week ago. They were out. They were out on people's property that have gas lines through there, and these people had questions, and they invited the gas company to come, and they came and they told us they're putting another 30-inch line through there. And a couple of the residents said that that's probably for the help to help with the.
Well, that was
data
my
center.
question. Was that for residential or for potential use by a data center? I mean,
They said it was going down. It was going to another. It was going to Greene County through Fayette and going into Greene County. But they couldn't tell us a lot of information on it yet. But they wanted to explain why they were there in our area.
Okay, so they're running a pipeline now through Fayette County to Greene County, according
They're
to
going to
what you're
start
saying.
it here
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
They were looking over the people, the system that's there now, the line, and some of the residents were concerned they were on their property and they had questions with the supervisors. So the supervisors, I told them to come to the meeting and explain the situation a little bit as much as they could. But a lot of people can't say much about this.
Well, Joyce, when's the next meeting? You said July the 1st?
Yeah, the July 1st, Wednesday at
When-
6 p.m.
Okay, July 1st
and July 9th.
July 9th, okay.
And they're going to, they want us to write our questions down and submit them before the meetings.
And
And
who
they-
they submitting to? Township supervisors or who they submitting?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're going to submit them to the supervisors. But I looked over a little bit of the ordinance. I didn't get into it yet. I was going to do that this weekend. But
Okay.
I see on there that they have a noise ordinance, and it runs from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And one of the supervisors commented on that and said that they have to be careful because if someone's working and has a chainsaw, is cutting up a tree in the evening, and it's too loud, they could be fined. They got to be worried about someone running a lawnmower late at evening for noise. So they have to really be careful on what
In
they
other
say
words,
about
what
the
you're
noise
saying
use.
is, so if they're going to put a noise ordinance in, it's just not for this data center. It's got to be a noise ordinance for the whole township
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
Yes.
So they're trying to make it good for everybody, but it's like a steady noise. They tell me like a siren sound all day long.
Well, Joyce, let me ask you this: did they tell you a definite where, if they propose one, did they said where it was going to be?
They haven't yet told me. I didn't ask that question, but I'm going to. But there's a power plant on Gans Road
Yes,
that they're
there's a-
talking about putting it there
Okay.
because there's the gas availability and there's electric there. That's where the Fay Penn owned the property.
Yes.
And then there's 100 acres about a half a mile down the road from me in the same area that.
Well, they
that
had
was talked about.
West Penn Power had a little peaking station, which they never did run right off of Gans Road, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's still running, and they have a solar farm back in there, Fay Penn. I don't know who owns it now, but it was Fay Penn's property. And I asked if they're paying property taxes because Spring Hill Township is really having a rough time. Our water is no good there. We have to get water from North Fayette.
I'm glad you brought
it's
the
been-
water situation up, Joyce. 'Cause
It's
here's
really
what-
bad there.
Well, there's what I say. You have representation there. Forget about if they ever going to put a data center. That's what you need to talk to your local
Cool it.
representative about.
Keep it cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
I
know.
mean, our water lines are terrible there. The water, you can't drink it.
Is there?
And
I know this is probably an unfair question, but can you say whether the people there submitting questions and talking, did they seem they were pro or against?
Most of them are against. It's agricultural area. We're worried about our farms being taken over. Faith Penn has bought over 800 acres there in Spring Hill Township, and they are KOZ on a lot of them. I have checked at the courthouse. They're not paying taxes on these properties, and they're raising our school taxes this fall. Again.
Well,
if it's agricultural area, is it being used for grazing or is it planted? Or is
A
it
lot
just
of
vacant?
planting. There's been corn and soybean planted, and there's 4 different farms that have cattle. There's a horse farm right by the power plant up there.
Well, Joyce,
Most of the people own 10 acres or more.
well, if you go to the meeting next week, we'll be here next Friday. How about giving us a call back and give us an update? We appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just concerned about the KOZ part and the clean and green that Faith Penn's in, and they're not participating in the taxes. And I'm going to raise that question also with my township.
Well, and the other thing, too, you brought up the water. And you say infrastructure. That's all done locally, legislative-wide to your congressman. And that's why we keep on harping. Elections have consequences. Reach out. I bet you most of the people in this area don't even know who their congressman is. They haven't seen him. We only seen him 3 times in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him at all.
You know, and that's when we said it's Democratic hour, but people got to realize you're not going to get anything done, regardless you're D or an R, unless you reach across the aisle and say, guys and girls, we're going to work for the betterment of my district. And that's what you need to do, because we all suffer, regardless what township you live in.
Well, the Spring Hill Township got a couple grants. I guess Charity Grimm had got us some grants for that.
But yes, she did. But
there's a bridge out now. It's a cement bridge, and they can't replace it because they don't have the funds to do it.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to pick on Charity since she's our legislator. Those grants were through the budget in Harrisburg. And Joyce, I don't know if you noticed, she voted every year against the budget here in Fayette County or in Harrisburg that affects Fayette County.
Yeah.
Joyce, we're going to let you go. Go right ahead.
She has got us a couple of grants, but, she's kind of speaking up for the people there and helping us. But, it's going to be a long haul here, and I think it's going to go through no matter what we say.
Well, all right, Joyce, we appreciate your comments and giving us an update on what's going on in your township.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Bye-bye.
that was Joyce. She listened to the show, and I'm glad she did because she called in. And again, you know my position on data. You know my position on it. Look down through that Mon Valley. I can remember they were against building the prison here.
Yeah.
Building the one down in Luzerne. They were against the one in Greene County that's right by the airport. I can remember it like it was yesterday. No, no, no. And here it is 30-some years later. There's still a prison there. There was X amount of people working there.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even want that. It was going to be too much noise. It was going to be too lighted. It was right by the airport.
People argue about electricity for all these data centers. Yeah, they do take a lot of energy to keep them running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now, windmills and solar panels are not the sole solution. They're not going to power an entire data center. But what's wrong with having them
And you have all the natural gas here.
Yeah.
And again, I can understand if you live there, and if they dot their I's, cross their T's, make some commitments back into that township, they're going to be built somewhere.
Yeah.
And if would they do it right here, I am definitely 100% in favor of it. And I know this, those who work in there, and I'm going to tell you the hourly rate right now, all journeymen in Western Pennsylvania belong to the trade unions, is anywhere from $40 to $50 an hour. That's the hourly rate. That's not counting health and welfare and pension.
And I gave you, when we came in, the op-ed that was in, well, it's not an op-ed, it was a letter in the in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. And they compared the 2 counties in Virginia. One county is very heavy, giving support to data centers. And as a result, property taxes, all kind of taxes went down in that county. The adjoining county won't let them build there, and they're raising taxes.
Well, here's the other thing. People complain about data center taxes. Here we got every school board now has to raise taxes.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I know Timmy was on last week, and you know he proposed, and I think what they need to do, and of course I pay school taxes. Rich, you do. I know Bill does. I think what they need to do, all these school boards ought to have a meeting one time, get together and see if they can, you know, compare apples with apples, if they could save, how they could save, and what they need to consolidate, because it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
You know, I know when we merged, you know, there's local unions. Sometimes bigger is not better, but some cases, if you don't, you're not going to survive.
Yeah. I mean, I see some of the buses that go up and down Pittsburgh Street or go through my neighborhood.
Nobody on them.
There's maybe 2 kids.
And we're, you know, we're paying for them, you know. And then the other thing, back to funding, people don't realize in Harrisburg, money that goes to public education, and when you, it's in the budget. And then when you support cyber schools and charter schools, that's less money coming.
Money goes into public schools.
Public schools. Yep. So again, our telephone number is 724-438-4593. Speaking of weekend, I do believe we got some fireworks, Bill, somewhere here locally on Uniontown. Up is it?
The fireworks over Fayette is coming up this weekend, Sunday night.
Sunday,
and we'll be broadcasting from there from 8 to 10.
You know, everybody's. I'm going to let myself get ahead of myself here a little bit. Everybody's talking about the 250th celebration for the country.
Right.
What else is 250 years?
You're going to tell us if I don't.
Uniontown.
That's right. You get that sign up here, right there on Route 40. You can't miss it.
Route 40 over by the cemetery.
Yeah, that's the one at cemetery. Yeah. July 4th.
Yep. 250 years for Uniontown.
In 79 years for me. I should be part of that 250th anniversary.
Well,
right?
your birthday's on the 4th of July, yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, Rich. Anybody traveling Route 40 coming from Brownsville, be right by the, what's the cemetery? We put the
Oak
plaques.
Lawn.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
July 4th.
Yeah.
Yep.
And coming down 21, there's a sign there too, across from the jail.
Yeah.
There's a sign there. And there's one I noticed when we were driving, when we were out in Greensburg, coming into Fayette County.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's one there.
there-
Yeah, Mr.
yeah.
Hardy put that up years and years ago.
Yeah.
The other thing too, you know, we were talking about technology, and you know, I'm not the best on technology, but you do think what we're going to see in the future, what we're seeing now, and what we've seen growing up, I can't imagine what my grandkids or grandson's going to see. You know, see if he lives to the old age of say 100. Heavens knows the technology that's going on. And Bill, you've probably seen it too in this business. You know, you've been in the radio business all the years now. Whoever thought would, you know, you could FaceTime people and call anybody around the world, and you know,
You get a lot of spam calls.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It's somebody. It's got to be done something legislative wise, something. I'm glad you brought it up. I brought it up the other day, and I know I'm aggravated by it. And I checked it out since Wednesday when I filled in for Russ. I had 38 spam calls. It's ridiculous. And again, you know, when you're calling and expecting a call back, you know, some of them don't come up as spam.
Right.
Right. But there's a certain group, it's something to do with burial expense, and they're going to ask you, are you between the age of 50 and 80? No, I'm not. I'm 33. That's what I use. But
Yeah, and they disconnect you and say, "Oh, I'm sorry."
And they put, you know, I know it's an AI call.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it's just constant. It starts and doesn't end. Now, if I'm getting them, and I assume, Bill, you're getting them, Rich getting them.
I get them.
I don't know what else you can do. I don't think you could remove them anyway.
I'm on a do not call list. I can't understand.
I mean, it's to me, it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
But again, anyone wants to make a comment on that and comment, like again, our telephone number is 724-438-4593. And speaking of elections, anybody has any questions, please call the Bureau of Elections at 430-1289. They'll answer, and like I said before, we know it, and I don't want to see summer go by. We'll be hitting for the midterms.
Yeah.
And all right, let's see who we got. We got a caller on the line. Let's see who we got.
Hi, you're on the Democratic Radio Hour. Who are we speaking with?
This is James. How are you guys?
Hey, James. How are you, my brother?
Good. Hey, I wanted you to verify something for me, George, if you would.
If I wouldn't
Called into the earlier program, and we were talking about immigration.
Yes,
and
we heard you.
The point I was trying to make was that there are companies in Fayette County, stone's throw of Uniontown, that have people. I'm not saying I don't believe they're illegal, but they are people that were at one time south of the border that are working in these companies and factories. George, you've been around. Is that a false that I'm saying, or is that true?
I would say your statement is probably true.
Because you've been around the block. I'm not mentioning the companies, but we've talked about one that's not too far from Mark in Republic. And there's others that I go into all the time that I see people working at. And these people are working. That's the point that I was trying to make. And I say this because a year ago, George, I have one time was a Republican. I'm an independent now. And so I had that conservative flow through my Facebook. And what I saw on Facebook a year ago, George, I think it was before the elections, the Fayette County Republican Party, I don't know if they were condoning it or not, but it was on their site of, this is what it said: if you believe somebody may be an illegal alien, if you think they could be an illegal alien, here, call this hotline number. This was on Facebook. They got all kind of, what could I say, flack about that and took it down, okay? So how would you like to go into these companies, George, to be working and be hassled because they don't even know if you're illegal or not, but we're going to turn you in anyway? That's my point.
And I agree.
There's people. Go ahead.
No, it's ironic. A couple of years ago, where I live, they put a new roof on. And I had a campaign sign out because I was running for office, and the owner of the company, saying that, it had the George Huck-Rattay, Army vet for state rep, and he said, George, when you were in the service. And, of course, I knew after conversation that he was in a service, and everybody there, I could see was they weren't, speaking English, but he said, George, don't worry, all these people are documented. They're legally here in this country. They pay Social Security. He said, I'll verify it. I said, no, let me say this. I've been around construction my whole life. I know what plumb level and square is, and I know what those guys are doing. They were workaholics. I even brought them lunch one day. And, they worked from sun up to sunset. I had no problem what they were doing, and they were legal. And he said, that's the other part. I have somebody working, they look at, I'm hiring somebody illegal, right? Everybody who's brown and not white, they're illegal.
Exactly. Thank you, George. You made the comment that I was looking for. That if they're a certain color or it can't speak the English, then guess what?
Illegal.
They're bad. They got to go. They're evil. They're the root of all problems. This is the problem. And boy, I hope we didn't have that attitude when people came to Ellis Island.
Yeah. I know one thing: my grandmother and grandfather never spoke English. Imagine what today, all these little patch towns, everybody.
They would be looked at. They would be told maybe they got to go too.
Oh, absolutely.
Watch what's going to happen if they have these mass deportations.
Well, now go ahead.
Who's going to pick the agricultural products?
Exactly.
Who's going to do some of the work that?
It's strange because we're all on the same level here. All this is hurting is the people that have the small business that are trying to get by to make a dollar. And what do you think's going on, Rich, now with your produce and everything? You notice it's going up because they've had to increase and pay higher dollars and go with machines and different things to get stuff to market. Or in cases, stuff doesn't get to market, so there's not as much of it there, supply and demand, stuff goes up.
Right.
So all you're doing is getting hurt. You're shooting yourself in the foot is what you're doing.
What else?
You can't have that brown person in here working.
You know what else bothers me coming up with the elections? They're threatening to put ICE officers at polling or, federal agents at polling booths.
It's getting, and how can you not say that this isn't becoming a dictatorship? that this is becoming, totally out of
Yeah,
hand.
his rule
And-
or his way or the highway, plain and simple.
Exactly, and I'll bring one thing up and then let you guys go, and that is on a federal level, what they're finding out now is we're being lied to more and more and more with the injuries from the war. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Yeah.
The casualties and the injuries and the list of what has happened and how bad they were, we have been totally lied to and put in the dark about.
And the damage to some of our embassies and military bases in the Middle East. They won't allow TV cameras in there.
And what did we get out of it? We got nothing out of it. We got 13 Americans killed, like you said, James, and God only knows how many got wounded. An amount of money, they're saying maybe
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. And we have, like you said, Social Security chip, no health care. People weren't walking around, no health care coverage or spending through the roof for it. Hey, whatever. We can do it.
Did the price of gas go down a little bit, but it's not back to where it was before the war started in January.
Yes, but you've depleted your reserves too.
Yeah.
You have totally depleted your reserves. You're not through this yet.
No.
And I think that was the stupidest thing to do. They can shut the Strait of Hormuz off like a kitchen faucet. They could do it at any time.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to deal with them now. And really, in reality, I think it would be smarter through the years to maybe sit down and dealt with Iran rather than Israel, because Israel continues to hit Lebanon. And let me ask you guys this question: this is not going to end as long as they hit Lebanon. Do you think they're going to give that up?
No.
Nope.
No. So it's never going to end. You're going to have the strait continually being messed with and shut off. And we did not have this. I thought Obama was the worst president ever. But when you look back on things and compare it, nope, the guy in there right now is making a good bid for the worst president ever.
Well,
I got to go down and see Lee Greenwood on the 250th. I fell asleep at his concert one time, woke up a half hour later, and he was still singing "God Bless the USA." I think it's a one-hit wonder, or it was a wonder that he even had one hit. I don't know what you call that, but
yeah, I don't.
All right,
But
James.
one point about the straits. Iran is going to have monetary control over that. They're going to tax.
Wouldn't they start calling it?
Yeah. Okay. So they're going to tax them. Who's going to end up paying for that tax? Consumers.
Oh, absolutely. We're listening to the news. They're still not done making the tariff deals with Europe. We're constantly paying for stuff. Have you gone to Lowe's and buy paint, which is petroleum based? Have you done that? See, this is something nobody talks about. The gas prices going down. What about everything else? What about everything else? Nobody talks about it. And we have a guy that sits there and says, well, no, the citizens don't determine how I deal, and inflation's great. And this guy has no clue.
Yeah,
None.
but the stock market's going up.
And he messes with them all every day.
Yeah, I know.
Just 24 or 48 hours ago, we had a deal. 24 hours later, Iran hits a ship in the strait.
Right.
He's doing this on purpose, and anybody with a brain can see.
I agree.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right, James,
You have a good
great
weekend.
We appreciate it.
Hey, happy birthday.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Week away, or Saturday. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, 79 years old, and the Rattays will celebrate like everybody else on the 4th of July. We've been doing it all these years, and of course it was because of our mother. And so if I make it to 80, we're trying to make all the Rattays make it to 90 because nobody on our side or my mother or dad's side made it to 90. So you guys and girls, you're going to have to put up with me for another 11 years.
Yeah. Well, I got longevity in my family, so hopefully I'm included in that.
Well, now, like I said, there's so many things this weekend. We're going to wrap it up, Bill.
No, just knocking wood to
Oh.
make sure he stays. He sticks around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And again, James brought up some skull and Mark, especially, Mark's a steady listener and a caller, but, getting back, when we went to school, you went to Catholic school, I went to public school, or Catholic school in grade school, but public school in high school. We had lunch programs.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of them they cut out, but, they got to realize that's some of the things, that's the only thing that kid's going to eat that day.
Right.
You know, I've said this many times. Go out eating one day and see if you could do it.
You know, and I think the commercial that Shapiro has on that, it's running on TV, it runs on internet, it runs on YouTube. I think it's a good commercial.
And I think here locally, and I'll find out for sure, so I might not be making his statements 100% true. If you go in there and just imagine your son could afford to pay for lunch, but my son don't have the money.
Yeah.
Now, how would they feel that, you know, you're going to school, their parents can't afford the program?
Right.
And like I said, that's the least of should be the least of our problems. No child should go unfed in this country.
Could I bring out another
Yeah,
quick topic?
what we got, Bill? How much time? But
Oh, okay.
for you got plenty of time, Rich.
You know, I was a newspaper reporter for 20 years or so. And I have a lot of respect for the reporters in D.C., particularly the White House. Have to deal with, you know, and particularly the female reporters who get called nasty names. But this week at there's a press conference at the DOJ, and it was about everything related to the war and whatnot. And at the beginning of the press conference, they said, look, this is the only questions you could ask are what we're talking about. Now, a couple other reporters went up and they say, well, I have a question off topic. Can I ask it? Now, you know, when I did newspaper reporting, I would never say, hey, can I ask this question?
You're going to ask the question.
Yeah. And if I get turned down.
So let's see. We're going to talk about growing flowers, and I'm just using that example. With all the things going on, right, the press conference,
Yeah.
you got the war. You got, you know, everybody's, you know, all the East Wing is gone.
Yeah.
You know, his big cage fight last week.
Yeah, I got
and,
to stay on topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Stay on topic.
And the Pentagon throughout all the Pentagon beat reporters.
Wonder what a reporter would. I don't know what the repercussions are. Maybe Bill wants to step in here. If they would tell him go blank himself one day, what could they do to you? Is that free speech, Bill? I don't know what it is.
All they can do is lock you out of the room.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it. You know what he says to women. I mean, he has no shame. You don't like the question. You know, he belittles them.
But the Pentagon locked out the beat reporters. They no
Right.
longer go into, you know, if they go in there, they have to have an escort. But you know what? What has happened? We got some of the best damn reporting in recent months on what's going on in the Pentagon and the war.
Right.
And they're not in there. Those reporters still have their sources.
And the people have some good sources
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we'll finish the show up on one in what's the book out? New York Times. You couldn't get a copy of it.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
Regime Change by
Yep.
Maggie Haberman and
Yep.
Jonathan Swan, or as Trump calls Maggie, Maggot.
Yeah, think about that. And again, we appreciate the calls. Rich, thanks for coming in. Bill, you're no substitute now. You know, you're the manager here.
Well,
You know,
I'm in the big
TJ's
chair
still
for
apprentice.
now,
You're the
yeah.
journeyman.
Yeah.
Right, we'll keep that. And again, everybody, it's Democratic Hour. Have a safe weekend, and we'll be, I think next Friday, we're going to do the show before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So maybe bring some cake in, maybe a couple other things. We'll
Birthday
celebrate it.
cake.
That's what I'm going to do. And again, everybody, have a safe weekend and enjoy the fireworks.
You have been listening to the Democratic Radio Hour, heard every Friday at 3:15, right here on 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS.
The local station WMBS and the WMBS Weather Watch. It's going to be cloudy with rain showers overnight. The low will hit 65. Rain tomorrow, high 73. For Sunday, clouds and rain and a high of 79. And currently it's 77 and cloudy on WMBS Union Town.
Prosecutors aren't finished yet on Lisa Brady. Fox News, as a mistrial is declared in the federal arson case against a man accused of starting one of LA's most destructive wildfires.
10 of 12 jurors in LA voting to acquit Jonathan Rinder-Knecht on all 3 arson-related charges after being deadlocked.
I mean, without the proof and all the doubts, I can't say for sure, like, he's guilty.
A juror reacting after a federal judge declared a mistrial. Prosecutors alleged Rinder-Knecht started a fire on New Year's Day last year that was put out